Today we've got sweaters, we have tank tops, cables, Bigfoot may make an appearance, and nerdy art. Hello friends, my name is Sarah. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, I am an artist. I am a knitter. I like to knit all the different cozy things, and I am also a maker of stitch markers and lots of other little oddball notions and things. Today I have a projects video. So these videos I usually share all the different things I have finished, things I'm working on, things I want to work on in the future, and then I usually, if I have some, I share some of my art as well. I am staring at a pile. I think we're gonna start with some things that I have fixed. Last year I knit a few different summer pieces that just had a few little things that needed fixing, so that way I would actually wear them. So I pulled them out of my closet and adjusted those little things that needed fixing.
Hi, a quick pop in from voiceover me because I'm sitting here editing and realizing I never talked about the sweater I am wearing. The sweater I am wearing is my mushroom sweater. It is not any particular pattern, it's just a broken rib raglan that I kind of made up as I went along. It is knit out of Coast to Coast Yarn Co. yarn. It is a fingering base 75/25 in the color Shiitake. It was from her mushroom collection, and then I held that double with Hobie's Alpaca Blaze in a color I do not remember, but I love this sweater. It is drapey and fabulous and comfy and cozy. It's amazing. Okay, back to the regular video now.
The first one I have is this V-neck t-shirt that I knit out of Lion Brand Trubu, which is a bamboo yarn. The color's getting, oh there, it's a little bit better. The color was getting a little blown out. It's like a really nice blue. I don't remember the color name, but it's 100% bamboo, and the drape on this is phenomenal. I can't say to how it wears because I ended up not wearing it much less. I think I only wore it once last year because the V-neck ended up being too low. I did not follow any pattern for this. I just kind of winged it. I am happy with the way it turned out, but I would have done a higher V, so that way I wouldn't have been such a pain with the I-cord. I redid the I-cord 4 times, this last time being the last, hopefully. The first time I did it, it was way too high. Didn't like it. The first time I did it, it was too low. Then the next time I did it, it was too high, like way too high. It was like super bunchy and way overcompensated. And then the next time again, I thought I was spot on, but it was still just a little too low. It was fine when I was sitting still, but once I started moving, it would adjust, and next thing you know, my bra was showing, and not ideal. So I pulled it out, did it again. I would say I maybe picked up a few, I should have picked up a few more, but it hits at a much better place this time. I think it will actually wear it. It does have a little bit of like rippling around the edge, but I don't think there's any way around it because I just did too many like increases in the V. If I had done less, I wouldn't have that problem. I have to pick up too few stitches around the edge to like avoid that. So it's okay. I will still wear this. I don't think anybody else will notice, and if they do, well, deal. I like it. It's so soft and comfy, and I feel like now that it's not like gonna shift around all weird, I will actually wear it. The next item I fixed was my home camisole by Kadri. This is knit out of some birch and lily yarn that Amanda very kindly sent to me last year to try out for free. So this is gifted yarn. This colorway was Hyacinth. And yeah, I'm not a purple person, but I really like this. I fixed the hem on it. So it has in the pattern an I-cord. And oh my goodness, the I-cord is beautiful. Don't get me wrong, but it flipped up and curled like nothing else. And it was driving me crazy. And every time I wore it, I would get annoyed because the bottom would just roll up and then you'd end up with your reverse stockinette. And I didn't like that look. So I ripped out the I-cord and put in just a 1x1 ribbing. It does cinch in a bit because I didn't block it. I will probably get out my iron and steam it a bit to get the stitches to relax. Because it's not too tight. It stretches quite a bit, but it just is going like this because it hasn't been blocked. But yeah, I'm much happier with it now. I tried it on and it doesn't flip. If I tuck it, the back isn't like popping up, or if I leave it undone, it's not immediately rolling. So yeah, very happy with this. I think it'll probably get much more wear this summer now that it is fixed. I will definitely make another home camisole, I think, this summer, and I think I've got the yarn for it. Okay, now the thing I have finished this week, well, it's been I think 3 weeks since I last recorded a projects video, 2 or 3 weeks, something like that. I finished my camisole. I made the mini mock neck tank. It's a tank, not a camisole. By Jessie Made, and I knit mine out of Woolberry Fiber Co. in the color Peacock Posterior. It is their Berry Natural. It is their fingering weight, 100% merino wool, 2-ply. It's a very twisty base. If you watch my last projects video, I talked about the one leg of the stitch, like doing all sorts of things. I put it in the round and it still did that, the stitch. It at least looked consistent all the way through. I was worried about going back and forth and then switching to the round. It would like somehow switch, but it didn't, thankfully. It looks very nice and even. Blocking did help calm it down a bit. I had somebody mention maybe going up a needle size, but I didn't want to do that because it's already knit on 3.5mm needles, and for fingering it's a pretty loose gauge. This pattern calls for a pretty loose gauge, so I didn't want to go down go up any larger. But overall, I'm very happy with it. It is a little bit more cropped than what I would like. I also had somebody mention in my what I knit in a week video that I could color block. I could definitely do that, but that's not really my aesthetic. I don't really like color blocking so much on me personally. On other people, I think it looks really cool, but I don't know why. It's not my favorite thing. But the reason it's more cropped is because the yardage for this base is a lot smaller than some of the other bases. It's only 400 yards versus like a light fingering, which can give you like 430 to 460 something yards. So some people I've seen knit like this much more length out of one hank of yarn. I'm like, how do they get that? And it's that extra yardage. It's the extra yardage. It makes a difference. So it is a bit cropped, but that's okay. I will still wear it with high-waisted jeans or with maybe my leggings with like a flannel over it. So yeah, I am happy with it. It looks very nice. I will definitely be knitting more. I'm already trying to figure out which colors to do. I plan on going through my stash and kind of taking like clear notes on what it is I have and how much yardage I have, so I can be better at planning future projects. So yeah, there will definitely be more of these. Very excited. I should probably mention I knit the second size, and it fits really well. I think I did do 2 decreases. I don't know, once I hit the body I kind of ignore patterns. I'm not gonna lie, I just kind of get to that point and just knit it however I want it to fit me. So once I got in the round for the body, I knit a length until I was like past the bust area, and then decreased I think 2 stitches here. So it's actually 4 stitches. So I decreased 2 here, and then a few rows down I decreased 2 more stitches on each side. So yeah, I think that helps a little bit because I mean we're knitting to our bust circumference, but then down here I'm not as wide as I am at my bust. So just decreased a little bit so that way there wasn't any extra fabric. I probably didn't need to do that, but I wanted to do that. Very pleased with it. I think it turned out really good. Can't wait to make more. Where to go next? Let's see. I think let's start with socks. I've been knitting some very fun socks out of some Kinetic knitter yarn. I knit 2 at a time, but on separate needles. It's my now favorite method. I've done 3, this is my 3rd pair of socks doing this way, and I'm actually making progress on fingering weight socks, which I've never done before, so it's great. I finished the leg on both my socks and then took a pause, put in a heel. I am doing a shadow wrap heel, which Songbird, when I test knit the, oh boy, nest socks for Songbird Handmade, she had this heel in there, and normally I've always done a heel flap, heel turn and gusset, and in the pattern it recommended a shadow wrap, and when she had put out the thing for tester, she had asked that we please use this heel if possible. So I was like, you know what, I can do it. I want to learn more things this year, so I did it. I'm so glad I did because I love this heel. I'm not like, I haven't worn the heel a ton yet because all the socks I've done it on so far are Christmas socks. So I haven't gotten a whole lot of wear out of this type of heel yet to really test it out and see how I like it. But it's so much quicker to knit than a heel flap turn and gusset. I really enjoy knitting it. It's a lot easier to do. So yeah, and then I think it'll fit okay because I've upped my stitch count for my socks. I used to knit the, what is it, 66, 64, 62, whatever the 60 stitch fingering weight sock is, that's usually what I would do. And all my socks are always turning out too small, so I sucked it up, started doing the 72, and they fit my feet so much better. So I think the heel like this fits my foot better than I thought it would because I've upped my stitch count. So yeah, I am pleased with this heel so far. I can't wait to actually wear socks with it and really like test it out. Okay, so that was the first sock. The second sock, I have a bit of foot on. It's a big tangly mess. Here, so much easier to put on a sock blocker than try and figure it out holding it up. It's very, very long leg. It comes quite a ways past the top of my sock blocker. I do need to get larger sock blockers because these ones are smaller than my foot is. But I'm a good chunk into the foot. I think my other socks I have to pull the heel to about here to gauge my length. So I'm about a little over halfway through the foot. And then I will be doing the toe in the blue that I put in the cuff. I'm going to do the blue and then do the tip of the toe, just the like last round, and the Kitchener in this yellow. That'll be kind of fun. And then I knit my socks on a 2.25 millimeter in case you're wondering. Don't ask me what that is in US sizes, guys. Millimeters make way more sense to me. I don't understand US sizes. They confuse me. They make no sense. There's no rhyme or reason to them. They don't make sense. Yeah. Okay. Let's show Bigfoot. We have feet. Look at these little feet. I am knitting Bigfoot. It is a pattern by Barbara Prime, and it is Yeti Sasquatch, and it's really cute. I am knitting Sasquatch. His name is, Bigfoot's name is just not the easiest thing in the world to pronounce. But instead of using just a normal bulky weight yarn, I decided to go for furry yarn. I very much hate my decision in life. The furry yarn I am using is the Knit Picks Fable Fur. It is 71 yards per 100 grams. It is a super bulky, so yeah, here it is. There's all the name and whatnot, yardage on the front of the ball band. And then look at how fluffy it is. It's so soft. My kids keep hugging the balls of yarn. I've had this yarn in my stash for quite a while. I actually bought it to make a like hat with, like one of the ear flap hats. So I bought this yarn to make one of those. But then I have a Santa hat that has fur yarn for the brim, and my head can't handle how much heat this yarn traps. So I decided against that, but then I had all this yarn that's been just sitting in the stash for I think 2 years now. So I decided I need to use it. It's probably not going to use all the yarn that I bought. I overbought yarn for this pattern as well, so that's great. But I'm going to make Bigfoot. I have his 2 feet are done, and I am working on his body. I think his body is, oh, did I drop a stitch? It's impossible to tell. I don't think so. Oh boy. I think we're okay. It's so hard to tell with this yarn. I really hate working with this yarn. Nope, I dropped a stitch. You know what I do? Because I've dropped a few stitches now. I just end up picking up a bunch of like strands from in the between, and I just knit them all together. It's not like you can tell. So let me just do that real quick so I don't forget, and then end up having a giant hole in Bigfoot's butt. Here it is. Here's Bigfoot's body so far. I do believe it is coming out a little bit bigger than pattern because it is a super bulky versus a bulky yarn, which the pattern calls for. But I can't check gauge because, well, tell me where the stitches are because I can't see them. It's okay though, it's a stuffy, it doesn't really matter. I did hold both of his feet up to it because at first I was like, oh, these aren't going to match the feet because the bottom of the feet are a heavy worsted Aran-like, but I held them both up next to the body, and I think it looks okay. So yeah, it's gonna be just fine. It's a stuffed animal, and it's probably gonna get beat up by the kids and well loved. They're already like, when are you gonna finish Bigfoot? Which I'm happy they're excited for him, but I can't knit a whole lot on this because it's 5mm needles with this super bulky, and this yarn has no give to it whatsoever. It's like knitting with a super bulky cotton on tiny needles. It's not pleasant on my fingers. So I get like 3 rounds in, I'm like, okay, and I'm done. So I've got quite a bit of body to go. It is technically knit flat, something like that. I'm changing it and I'm knitting in the round because I don't want to knit flat. I'm just kind of winging the body. I'm using this pattern very much as a guideline. I followed the feet to pattern, and then I'm very much winging the body, but the face does require intarsia. So I think once I get to the face section, I'll stop knitting in the round, and then I'll knit flat, and then rejoin in the round for the top of the head, and then just seam that little spot on the back of his head. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, I am excited for Bigfoot. I'm going to knit him a little green beanie, which I think will be super cute. The pattern does have a little backpack for him, but I'm not sure I'm gonna do the backpack. I definitely wanna do the hat though. I might even do a scarf, but we'll see. I didn't show it, but this is the yarn I'm using for his feet, and this will also be his face. And I'm not sure if the hands are a different color or not. I'm pretty sure they are, but this is what I'm using. Wool of the Andes. It's, yeah, worsted, 110 yards per 50 grams, and it is mink heather. I did not buy this yarn for this project. I think I just bought this yarn to try it, to see what it was like before I purchased a sweater's quantity worth of this yarn. And yeah, it's pretty decent. I don't mind the wool of the Andes. It's woolly and slightly like maybe the teeniest bit of prickle and a little bit rough, but I feel like once it's washed, it'll be nice for a garment, but I don't know. We'll see. It's not currently being used for a garment. I have another sweater quantity that I'll use later on, but it's a cardigan. Anyways, tangent. Moving on. Let's show this beast. I was hoping to have this done by now, but alas, it is not done. This is my Lauder sweater. It is a test knit I am doing for Rebecca Clow of the Creavea. She is a knitwear designer and also a YouTuber here. She's got like lots of good content, so make sure you go check that out. This is an all over cable work sweater, like all over. Like there is no like seed stitch breaks or anything like that. So I was riding a real good high at the beginning of this pattern, but we're in the struggle boat right now. I also don't like knitting bodies. I prefer knitting sleeves, but I decided to knit the sleeves first so that way I could use up yarn, like kind of keep knitting the body on until like I ran out of yarn, which I'm gonna have way more yarn than what I will end up using, so it's not really a concern anymore, but it's what I decided to do. But I have finished both the sleeves. I am nearing the finish line with the body. I think I need about 2 more inches for the body and cabling, and then I'm gonna do a good chunk of ribbing. I'm gonna try it on one more time though, just to make sure. I had thought about adding short rows because I really like because I'm going for super oversized. I feel like words are getting away from me. I'm knitting the size 3. Normally I would probably knit the size 1 or 2 for this, but I'm wanting it very oversized. So I'm knitting the size 3, and I also like added a few rows here and therefore picked up for the size 5 sleeves. Those are the sizing schematics that I followed. So 3 and 5, 3 for the body, 5 for the sleeves. But I'm going way past what she's asked for in the body because I want the body extra big. I want this to be such a squishy, cozy sweater. So when I have a big, extra cozy sweater, I like the butt to be a little bit longer. So normally I do short rows in the back. But doing short rows in a cabling, I would have to do, it would be a lot of like figuring out the stitch pattern and stuff, which I don't particularly feel like doing. So what I'm going to do is knit the length of the cables that I want, and then I'm going to do some short row shaping in the ribbing. I'm just going to add, I don't know how many yet, but I'm going to knit a few extra like rows for the back end in the ribbing. I also forgot to mention what yarn I'm using. I'm using Premier Yarns Wool Select, which is an acrylic wool blend, primarily acrylic, with it's 75-25 or 80-20. One of those two. And then I am knitting the body on, oh, these needles have the US sizes and not the millimeters. I'm pretty sure I'm doing 4.5 millimeter, which is US 7, pretty sure. So that's what I'm doing for the body. And then I actually went up a needle size for the arms because I knit small circulars. So I went up to a 5 millimeter needle. So yeah, the body would be 4.5. And did that for the sleeves. And I think it ended up working out great. I am having words. I am having a bit of flaring. This one isn't quite as bad. Yeah, this one's a little bit worse on the sleeves because I decided to do a tubular. Decided to give this a try again after years of not trying it. I've done it before in the past and have been like, whatever. It was much faster than I remembered it being. But again, the flaring kind of made me like, what the heck? But a lovely viewer, I'm sorry, I do not remember your name, had left in the comments of my last video, my knitting in a week video, that they had watched somebody else's video where they had said to avoid flaring, to go down a needle size for your setup row. So that makes sense to me. So I'm going to do that on my hem. Once I get to the setup rounds, I will go down a needle size. So yeah, thank you very much. You know who you are. for sharing that little tidbit, that wisdom with us all. That was really great. So yeah, I'm gonna try and do that with my hem. I'm trying to think if there were other things that I wanted to talk about on this sweater. I can't really think of anything else. I plan on writing down all the things when I'm done with it and really doing a thorough overview. I actually currently kind of have an entire video following the entire test process of this, so I will probably do it in that video as to not bore everybody with all the little minute details. But yeah, on here I have this beautiful Sable and Stone stitch marker. I also have one of my stitch markers. It's got forget-me-nots in it. It's kind of hard to see. So yeah, Lauder sweater, testing it. It's going good. Can't wait for it to be done. I'm hoping to have it done this week. I should have it hopefully done by the weekend, or at least over the weekend. That's the hope, please. Okay, so my last projects video, I shared a little tidbit of some yarn that Knit Picks is going to be sending me as a gift. So this is like kind of ad sponsored, gifted. I never signed anything saying, oh, I'm going to do this, this, and this. Like, it's just like they sent me the yarn and here I am sharing about it. So I don't know how that fits in there, but that's what it is. It's gifted yarn. Anyhow, Knit Picks sent me some high desert wool, which is an American wool. It is, I believe, all merino, based off of some of the information I was reading. And oh my goodness, look at this beautiful tweed yarn. I am so in love. I am knitting the Terrazzo sweater by Petite Knits out of Knit Picks high desert wool, and it is looking amazing. I had no plans to cast on this sweater. This was not even on my radar as something I wanted to cast on or something I wanted to knit. But when I got the wool, I was like, I want to knit this up right away. And I want something super oversized, super comfy and cozy. And I went for the Terrazzo sweater. I am knitting the size 3. I wanted more positive ease than what the pattern called for. I think the pattern has 5 inches of positive ease for my recommended size. So I went up a size. I'm knitting the 3rd size to make it so there's 10 inches. So many forms of measurement. Why the United States decided to be crazy people and do things differently, I don't know. I don't know. I'm knitting 10 inches of positive ease into this. And I ended up accidentally adding a few extra increases. I wasn't paying attention to the pattern. I was just cruising along, doing my own thing, and then was like, oh, wait a second. The pattern actually changed how we're doing the increases, and we're not doing those anymore. And yeah, there was a few points where I kind of made a few different oopsies in the increases, but it's okay. It's just a little bit extra ease, which I am here for in this sweater. I'm undecided on what kind of collar I want to do yet. The pattern has a true turtleneck, so up and folded and extra cozy. I'm not sure if I want to do that or if I want to do a folded collar. I don't know. Normally at this point, I only have like this much more of this ball. I would, once I finish this, pick up the neckline. But I think I'm going to wait to pick up the neckline because I'm still undecided. I think I'm going to wait to figure it out until I'm done with the body and the sleeves, because once I see the fit of the whole entire thing, that will kind of determine what kind of fit I want up here. Yeah, I'm very excited about this. It's extra squishy, extra soft. It's gonna be like a big giant sweatshirty hug, which I love very much. Living on this sweater is a Hello Lavender accent marker, a little rose. I love this color. And then another Sable and Stone marker. This one is my favorite that I bought from her. I love this moody black and gold. It's so pretty. And it matches the project perfectly. So yeah, a little unexpected project that I casted on since last time. And that's okay. It's cruising right along because it's worsted weight and it is knit on 5.5mm needles. I'm pretty sure the pattern does not call for that size, but that's what I was getting gauged on. Okay, that's all I've been knitting on. That feels like a lot. I think it's because I like worked on old projects and like fixed things. It feels like a lot, but it's not really that much. I do have a couple of new things. I did buy some yarn. I wasn't planning on buying any yarn, but I ordered some fabric from Joann. I got some cotton flannel to make a shirt. Every now and then, once a year, once every other year, I get the itch to sew some things. So I bought a sewing pattern and I bought some cotton flannel. I'm going to I'm going to sew myself, I'm going to sew myself a shirt. But when I was ordering the fabric to get the free shipping that they had offered at the time, I bought some yarn. I was thinking I'm going to keep it in the bag. But then there's a glare and there's a crinkle, so we'll just open the bag and show you the yarn. I bought some Lion Brand Trubu. This is the color Slate. It is more of that bamboo yarn that I knit my shirt out of. The plan is to knit a home camisole out of this. I'm very excited about it. I bought 3 balls of this, which should be more than enough. I think I probably only needed 2, but I didn't know at the time what I was going to order or what I was going to make. I was planning on something slightly different, but the color that it showed online was more blue than this. This is very much just gray. Like, I'm not detecting any blue at all. Like, if anything, I almost feel like it's slightly warm leaning. I don't know, but it doesn't look like the picture at all. When I got it, I was like, wrong color, people. And then I went online, I was like, yeah, that's blue. Like, that's a very like slatey blue. And no, it's just gray, but whatever, it's fine. I just switched gears a little bit because I wanted kind of like, I was thinking a like t-shirt with like kind of like a v-neck, but with like buttons in the front and like short sleeves and maybe a little lacy, but I wanted the blue. Like the gray isn't quite, I'm not feeling this for what I have in my head. So this is gonna be my home camisole. I don't know what I'm gonna cast it on yet, but it will be cast on for summer because I love this yarn. I think it's super soft and I love that pattern. So yeah, plus I already have it. So the next thing I received is not yarn. It is a project bag. And I don't think I've ordered a project bag for a year or 2. I was like looking at my bags the other day. Some of them are like a little worn out because I use them a lot and they travel with me and I'm not gentle on them by any means. So, which I mean is fine because they're protecting the project inside. So it's okay. But I saw that Black Pearl Magic had a restock and I went on there and she actually had some in stock. I swear I always miss her restocks. I've started on Instagram changing, if you click the little like Instagram like logo at the top left, there's like a little drop down menu, and if you clicked following, it pulls everything up chronologically. What? So I've started using Instagram more that way, and I've seen so many people I haven't seen in forever. Yeah, I love it very much. So I got to actually get a Black Pearl Magic bag because I started perusing Instagram this way. So here it is. It's smiley faces and checkers, and it's got this beautiful zipper, really nice quality. You can't really see it in the video. The zipper is iridescent. I don't know if you can tell or not. Just take my word for it. It's iridescent and fabulous. But yes, I really like the smiley faces. I was very big into smiley faces, you know, in the 90s and early 2000s. And I, in youth group, got the name from a few people. It was not my favorite. I didn't enjoy it. But now I look back at it and think, oh, nostalgia. But my last name used to be Riley. So there was a few people who used to call me Smiley Riley. I hated it very much. But again, you look back and you think, aw, youth. So yes, I was very happy to get this bag. It makes me smile very, very much. And I like that it's a small bag because it's like the perfect size for maybe a tank top or a sock. You know, it's just a great size. I am always, I feel like, using this size the most out of any project because I I travel with this size. Once it gets any bigger, I don't usually take it out super much. It just kind of lives in my home. So yeah, I'm very, very pleased with this. I do have one regret. I do wish I had bought the little wrist clip-on thing she has. I didn't do that. So I'm gonna have to check her website and see if she has any up there now. But I may also sew one myself out of fabric because I feel like I'd prefer that around my wrist, and then I can walk with it and knit out of the bag. I love it so very much. I'm so pleased with this. Yay! Before we move on to the art, because I know that's not everybody's thing, I thought I would just mention a giveaway that I decided to spur of the moment have. So if you made it this far, congratulations. You now get to find out about a giveaway that I did not announce at the beginning of the video. I purchased the last Pom Pom magazine that they ever released. I pre-ordered this without knowing what it was going to be because, you know, it's always so beautiful, and yeah, they just do a fabulous job with like the photography and everything. But I've decided to give it away because I probably will never knit any of these patterns that are in here. I'm just going to show you this first page that kind of has all of the patterns laid out. And you can also go to their Instagram and see all of the beautiful patterns that this magazine has. I think they're all absolutely stunning. They really are truly beautiful, but none of them are to my taste. None of them are something I would wear, with the exception of one. Not gonna lie, this scarf right here, I would totally wear, but I'm not gonna knit all that double knitting. It's 100% never gonna happen, but it is beautiful. And I would knit it if I had the time, but I don't have that kind of time and patience, and yeah. But I have this beautiful magazine, and I feel guilty just keeping this magazine and not using it when there are other people who may love some of these patterns and actually knit some of these things. So if you're interested in this beautiful magazine, just leave a comment below. It can be anything. I don't really care. Just leave a comment about something in this video, whether it's one of the things I worked on or whatever. Leave a comment to win this beautiful magazine, and I will ship it to you. So yeah, enter to win this little guy. I hope it goes to a very loving new home and doesn't just sit on a shelf and collect dust. I do have other Pom Pom magazines, and I actually have things I am crocheting or have knit or wanted to knit out of them. So I just, again, don't want it to sit and be wasted when somebody could be knitting things out of it. I do have plans for a future video, a stash video. I plan on going through all my stash and kind of planning things out. I'm not sure how in depth with plans I'm gonna go, but I do plan on like letting you know what I want to knit with some of the things. So if that interests you, make sure you click the like and subscribe, or whatever, the subscribe, to catch that future video. Words are hard today. I also have a past video that I did where I styled some of my knitwear, which was really fun. I really enjoyed doing it. There was a lot of really good feedback on it. So if you didn't watch that, go check it out. The YouTube algorithm is weird, and I don't understand it, and I honestly don't care enough to figure it out and study like forums and blogs to figure it out. I'm too lazy. I don't want to. I don't care that much about views. But in case you would like to watch a styling your knitwear type video, go check that out. But yeah, let me show you my art. Yay. I have been doing a little bit of digital art. I got Procreate. So here is a couple of things I've done. I drew a beautiful horse. I started art drawing horses. I was horse obsessed. I took riding lessons. I even had the career plan of becoming a horse trainer and actually started down that path. For a while, I was working with a trainer, and then, you know, started training some horses, and then quickly realized that most of the stuff is actually more Eastern Washington than here, and nobody here was willing to trust me with their horses because I didn't have enough experience under my belt. So we just kind of chucked that and was like, yeah, that's probably not going to happen. Then I ended up in photography. But horses were what I drew. I drew all the different horses all the time. It was my favorite thing to draw. And every now and then I like get inspired and want to draw horses again. And then I also drew a face. I went to Pinterest and saved a whole bunch of really like interesting like portraits, just because like, you know, the more interesting the face, the more fun it is to draw. And I really enjoy drawing different features, like whether the person has a larger nose or maybe like they've got more wrinkles or just like other things. And I feel like it really helps with my practice because I'm not very good at portraits yet. Just faces are a struggle for me. They are so hard. I've been getting okay at the bodies, but the faces are just, they're not my favorite. But yeah, I've been doing that. So yeah, there's digital art, but then I also have done a few little oddball things. There's this one that's very illustration-y, silly. It's a mushroom pool. There's little people in the pool. Super cute. I love the way this one turned out. It's really pretty. Look at the little pelicans. Aren't they adorable? Yeah, this one is gouache. I think all of them I'm showing you are gouache. Actually, this one's watercolor. I'm not done with this one. But it's going to be very loose and artsy, and there's going to be mixed media. I do plan on also adding color pencil to this one. Here contains my nerdy art. So my husband was like, nobody's going to know what the heck this is. So I'm going to show it to you first. And I want you to like guess what you think it is. You don't need to write it down in the comments or anything, but let me show you. And then guess, and then I'll tell you. It's a fun game, right? What is this from? Give you a second here. Look at it. It is nerdy, so keep that in mind. There was a movie in the 80s, book in the 60s, new movie a few years ago, and they just put out a part 2. This is from June. Okay, so we have the Bene Gesserit, and then I also painted a sandworm. This is what my husband requested. He wants like this to be like big size for the family room, because we have like nerdy art in our family room. So as of right now, I just have a mini version of it. We'll see if I actually do a large version of it, but it is pretty cool looking. But yeah, I'm very pleased with the nerdy art I did. It's been a while since I've painted for fun. I have painted more things just for work stuff, but I've just been inspired to paint again. I think part of it is the weather. The sun really gives me motivation to paint for some reason. I don't know why, but in winter I just kind of lose all motivation to paint. But in the winter I knit more, and then in summer I knit less and then want to paint more. So, you know, it all evens out. Oh, I feel like that was a lot. I feel like I talked a lot, and I feel like this was probably long. I don't know how long it was. My like microphone cord blocks the time stamp on my camera, so I can't see it from here. I would have to go like this to see. Yeah, I feel like it's gonna be a long one. It's fine. Thank you so much for watching though. If you made it to the end of this, bravo to you. You did it. Make sure you leave a comment down below to win that Pom Pom magazine. It's gonna be so exciting to send that off to somebody. I may throw in a couple of other little extra goodies. But yeah, if you want to see future content, hit the subscribe button. Likes are also awesome. We like to see those. But thank you so much for watching my video. We will see you in the next one, which will be a stash video. That's going to be fun. Yeah. Have a good rest of your day. We'll see you next time. Bye.